How does contractarianism differ from Kantianism? Have you ever wondered how ethical theories can both use the idea of agreement yet lead to very different conclusions about what is right? Let's break down the differences between contractarianism and Kantianism in a way that's easy to grasp. First off, contractarianism is often linked to the philosopher Thomas Hobbes. This theory sees morality as a set of rules that rational people would agree upon to protect their own interests and avoid conflict. Here, reason is mainly a tool for achieving personal goals. In contrast, Kantianism, developed by Immanuel Kant, is a form of deontological ethics. It focuses on duties and moral laws that must be followed regardless of the outcomes. For Kant, reason plays a moral role, guiding individuals to act out of respect for moral law and the dignity of others. When we look at the role of reason in these theories, we see a clear distinction. In contractarianism, reason is about figuring out how to best serve one's own interests through a social contract. The moral rules come from mutual benefit. On the other hand, Kantianism views reason as practical and moral. It requires actions based on principles that can be universally applied, treating others as ends in themselves rather than just means to an end. Motivation is another area where these theories differ. Contractarianism assumes that people are driven by self-interest. Moral rules are justified if they serve these interests through agreement. In contrast, Kantianism insists that moral actions must be performed out of duty, motivated by respect for the moral law itself, not by personal gain or consequences. Now, let's talk about the nature of moral principles. Contractarianism defines right actions as those that rational agents would agree upon while seeking mutual benefit. This often resembles a bargaining model. Kantianism, however, defines right actions as those that align with universal duties derived from reason. This includes the categorical imperative, which commands actions that can be consistently universalized and that treat humanity with respect. Respect and equality are also treated differently in these theories. Kantian ethics places a strong emphasis on mutual respect and the dignity of individuals. It grounds morality in the inherent worth of persons. Contractarianism, while it may focus on practical agreements, does not always emphasize intrinsic respect in the same way. Interestingly, some modern theories, like contractualism, blend elements of both contractarianism and Kantianism. Contractualism shares with Kantianism the idea that moral principles must be justifiable to others and respect their status as free and equal agents. However, it differs by focusing on principles that no one could reasonably reject rather than those all would agree to. In practical terms, contractarianism might justify rules based on mutual advantage and social cooperation. This is especially useful in political philosophy and discussions about social contracts. On the flip side, Kantianism guides actions based on duty and respect for individuals, influencing human rights discussions where intrinsic moral worth is central. So, while both contractarianism and Kantianism use the concept of agreement to ground morality, they differ significantly in their foundations. Contractarianism is rooted in self-interest and instrumental reason, while Kantianism is based on moral duty, universal principles, and respect for individuals as ends in themselves. Understanding these differences can help clarify how each theory approaches ethical obligations and the justification of moral rules.